As a coach, an expert, an influencer, an aspiring coach, an aspiring expert, an aspiring influencer, there is a very, very definite way for you to market yourself and a way for you not to market yourself. I'm going to give you the wisdom of the ages in today's session. Truly, I'm going to share with you the circle of control and the circle of influence. These are so powerful in your development as a human being and your development as a coach, consultant, expert, influencer, somebody seeking to make a difference in the lives of others. I love that quote by Seth Godin, and Seth talks about marketing as the generous act of helping others to become who they seek to become. What a lovely quote. In that quote, Seth is talking about a will and an intent from us to serve and to truly make a difference in the lives of those people that we serve. That's how you show up every day, right? That's how I try to show up. In that process, we too must evolve. We too must learn, develop, and grow. There's a beautiful saying that earth is a place where souls go to grow. Now, each one of us must therefore be on that journey of growth. When it comes to marketing, how does this all fit in? Most people I see focus on things that they can't control. So we try to influence people to buy our products. We try to make people purchase. We try to put things out there that convince them, that persuade them, that encourage them to make that decision. We can't control it. That's their business, not ours. And so this is where understanding the concept of these two circles is really important. So what are they? The small circle is the circle of control. These are things that you can change. These are things that you have control over. The large circle is the circle of influence. And these are things that you can influence, but you can't control. Hey, don't walk across that road. There's a car coming, you're going to get hit. That person is the one that decides whether they put one foot in front of the other and step out onto that road, not you. You can influence, but you can't control. And so often I see entrepreneurs stuck in that outer sphere, really tearing their hair out because they know they can help. They know that there are so many people they can serve, so much good that you can bring to the world. Why aren't people doing this? And berating themselves and tying themselves up in knots. Sound familiar? We've all been there. And so really and truly understanding what these two circles bring to the table from a marketing perspective can and will change the game for you, just like they did for me. So instead of beating yourself up and concerning yourself with trying to do something that you can't control, I would encourage you to focus on the circle that you can control. That's not to say that you don't look to increase the circle of influence in size, because of course the more your circle of influence grows, the greater influence you're able to have, and the greater impact you're able to have, the greater degree of service, the greater degree of transformation you're able to bring to people's lives. So how do we grow the circle of influence? Well, it all begins with you. It all begins with the circle of control. A wonderful coach friend of mine says, your business grows to the extent you do. And it's so true. The circle of control is how you show up in the world. The circle of control is your inner work. The circle of influence is your outer work. This is the content that you create. These are the assets that you create. This is what I call your marketing ecosystem, the things that exist out in the world that you've created from within, your unique intellectual property, the way that you interpret the world. Because this journey for all of us is one of seeking to become who we seek to become, said in his quote. We are all seeking to become the truest expression of ourselves. And your goal in what it is that you do is helping others realize that new state, that transformation, that evolution and growth for themselves. You can't control that growth, but you can influence it. And how do we increase that level of influence? By focusing on what we can control, focusing on us, on the inner work, on how we show up. If I show up from an energy of, oh, I don't know if this will, and I'm not sure about that, and oh, maybe this, and all of a sudden I'm lost in how I am presenting myself to the world. How on earth can I expect my results to be anything other than dreadful. How on earth can I expect to have an impact in your life if I'm withering and I don't know and I'm uncertain and I'm unsure about how I can serve you? And if we contrast that with doing the inner work and controlling the energy with which you show up, and now all of a sudden you step into your power because you know without question this can serve you, this will help you to get where you want to be. All of a sudden your energy changes, the way that you present your offer to the world shifts entirely because you know with certainty that this can have a massive impact. And when you do that inner work of awareness, of self-realization, you appreciate that this work isn't about you. Friedrich Nietzsche says that he who has a why for to live can bear almost any how. Now think about that. You're putting your mission, your calling, your purpose, your reason for being outside of you. And so what that does by focusing in and getting crystal clear on why you're doing what you're doing and whom you're doing that for, all of a sudden it's taken outside of you and that circle of influence increases because now you're playing with a bigger picture in mind. You're playing the infinite game. So what is the inner work? How do we focus on the circle of control? You put your time and your attention and your consciousness on doing things that grow your mind, that expand your thinking, that elevate your level of consciousness and self-awareness. And you begin by focusing on asking the why question. Why am I doing this? Why is it important to me? What are my values? What really makes me tick? And look, doesn't matter where you are on the journey here. You may have done this a dozen times before and feel like you're already there. Well, look, this is a continual journey, right? It never ends. So no matter where you are, ask that question, reflect on those things, and I promise you that you will only grow both of those circles of control, circle of influence. Your world will just expand beyond belief, no matter. When you think about how you show up, it's about how you then present the stuff that's happening inside of you to the outside world. Remember, you're seeking to become the truest expression of self, and there's a key word in there that most people miss. Expression. How do you express these things that you know you have a duty to bring to the world? How are you expressing those right now? What content are you creating? What products are you creating? How are you putting these out into the world? Are you sharing this gift that you have, this God-given gift, with the people around you, with the people whom you know can benefit? Because it's not about you, remember? So by working on you and going inwards into this circle of control, you begin to create intellectual property and artifacts that sit in what I call your marketing ecosystem. I have a motto that drives my clients mad. It's called create every day. I wave this at my clients in most of our sessions, asking them, well, how has your create time gone today? How have you gone inwards, done the explorative work? And then how has that translated into putting your interpretation of what you see and experience out into the world? So this can be videos, blog posts, podcasts, audio. It can be anything at all. It can just be streams of consciousness, journaling, meditating. It's all inner work. It doesn't all have to go out into the world. This is you doing the work on you. The consequence of that is you show up in the world from a place of power, from a place of surety and certainty, and you produce in the process a whole host of artifacts of intellectual property or IP that you can publish out into the world that increase your circle of influence. And it does that because you are sharing these experiences that you're having with others. They see you and experience you through the lens of that work. Just as you are experiencing me right now talking about these two circles, so other people see you through what you put out into the world. So do an inventory for me. Have a look what you've got out in the world right now. What does your footprint look like? What does your ecosystem look like right now? And how does that match with what you're looking to achieve? Is it congruent? I'm guessing that there's some disparity between the two, because for most of us, in fact for all of us that are on the journey, there is always a state of here and there. I am here, I want to be there. And so if we look where we're at versus where we want to be, there's a distance, there's a gap, there's a space. And so your goal in the inner work is asking yourself, how do I close that gap? What do I need to do? Who do I need to be in order to be at that place? That's why this approach is so powerful, because you are not focusing entirely on the influence and the control of others. You're focused entirely on the control of the controllables. And in doing so, you increase your influence, and therefore you increase your impact, you increase your revenue, you increase abundance that flows to, from, and through you in the world. That is why these two circles are so powerful. You don't need to worry yourself about things you can't control. You only need to concern yourself with how you show up. You can change that right now in this moment. The circle of control and the circle of influence, I first heard about these in Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I am a worrier. I would be concerned about what clients thought of me, how I'm viewed, oh, will they like me? Will they hate me? Oh, all of this stuff comes up, right? And I read this in Stephen's book for the first time years ago now. And I honestly felt like a weight had lifted off my shoulders when I read this, because it was like, oh, wow, a realization. I can lead the horse to water, but I can't make it drink. And that's okay. I don't have to concern myself with making that horse drink. I just have to concern myself with doing the best I can do, with showing up in the best way that I can. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to focus on. And that's what made all of the difference in my journey. It helped me to build a successful coaching practice, helping others to become who they seek to become. What is that for you? And use these two circles, this approach, to really focus on controlling the controllables, creating content that is your truest expression of self, building an ecosystem around that, so then others see you as that person that can help in that way. That's what positioning is. Marketers are obsessed with branding and positioning. That's what it is. It's the imprint that you leave on people's minds about how you can help them. Simple as that. And it comes from an honest appraisal of where you're at versus where you want to be, and then you doing the work on you. That's how you make a massive difference in the world. That's where you spend your focus, your energy, your attention. Jordan Peterson says that energy flows where attention goes. So I would encourage you to put your attention on the circle of control, and then you will grow your circle of influence as a result. Wonderful opportunities will present themselves to you. You will attract more clients into your world. Your reach, your impact, everything will grow and develop abundantly for you. And I wish you all the very best in your journey.